And the questions were, why should I have to give 50% of everything I've earned when the other spouse hasn't worked? And the rationale in that is that, let's say you're the working spouse and your wife stayed at home, or your spouse stayed at home, and they watch the kids. And so the rationale is they weren't able to work because they're watching the kids. Assumably, I'm sure there's plenty of folks that aren't working, and there's adult children, or there's no reason they shouldn't be working. But in any case, the thought process with the court and the reason this exists is because you're at home taking care of the kids. That's why the person working was able to work so much, promote, make a lot of money, go to work every day, because you had your spouse taking care of the kids, or at home taking care of the family or the household, or just the house in general. So that's why that happens. And I can, and you can see the different viewpoints. The person who did all the work is thinking, I did everything on my back, my pension, my 401k. I earned the income. I paid for the house. Like, it was their money, but you have to realize it was yours combined, the two of you. The money is community property. The assets are community property. The house is community property, even the one spouse paid for it. So you can see how one spouse would feel, hey, this is mine, and the other. But on the other end of it, keep in mind, like with this other consultation, I was talking to the mother of the daughter who was going through this, and she was the mother was the I'm sorry the wife was the breadwinner, and I said, and they were saying, I hope that he will not want any of her pension or half the house or alimony or child support because he doesn't work, he hasn't worked, he doesn't have any money saved. I'm like, he does have money saved. You guys, all this is collective between the two of them. And I said it, the thing is, I get why you would want to protect your daughter and say, no spouse support, no nothing. But if he's not working, has no income and no savings, he's almost forced to ask for alimony and child support and half of everything, because even if he doesn't want it, he really has no money in his pocket. Or, I mean, what's he going to do? He's going to have to, just to survive. So that was the conversation we had with them on that. And I said they need to sit down and talk, because you're going to want to have that conversation to see which way that goes. One of the things she had said is, I think I said, hey, have they talked about it, if there's going to be any spouse support? And she goes, no, she doesn't want to have that conversation because she feels like if she brings it up, then he'll say yes. Guess what? You have to bring it up. You can't. And I get this all the time where one spouse says, hey, I don't want to bring it up. It has to be addressed in the settlement agreement. There's no getting around it. There's going to be a spousal support order attachment to your settlement agreement that's going to say one of three things. Yes, there's going to be spouse support, and how much for how long. No, there's no spouse support now or ever, or reserve jurisdiction where there's no spouse support now, but possibly in the future. But you can't just ignore it. You can't just not attach a spousal support order to your judgment and just not talk about it. It has to be addressed either way. Have that conversation first before you hire me. Because I said, have they had this conversation? She said, no. I said, they're all getting along. They're all friendly, and everything seems good. I said, yes, until you start talking about money. Have that conversation, write it down on a pad of paper, say, this is what I'm proposing, see how it goes, see if you guys can reach an agreement. And guess what? If the husband decides he doesn't want anything for whatever reason, the court is not going to interfere in that. You guys can do whatever you want by agreement. It may not make sense to other people, but people make decisions of an unequal division of assets and debts all the time. I can definitely tell you that.